They grew up together, dreamed together, and got engaged. But the moment he struggled as a poor mechanic, she left him, humiliated and heartbroken. Years later, the same boy she abandoned now owns half the city. How did it all change? Watch till the end. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories that prove life can turn tables in the most unexpected ways. The rain hammered against the windows of Mama Rose's diner as Marcus wiped his hands on his worn overalls. He had been waiting for 20 minutes, checking his phone every few seconds. When Keisha finally walked through the door, her designer heels clicking against the wet floor, he knew something was wrong. "Marcus, we need to talk," she said, not even sitting down. He stood up, his heart already sinking. "Baby, what's wrong? You look upset." "I can't do this anymore." She pulled off her engagement ring and placed it on the table between them. "I can't marry you." Marcus stared at the ring, his world spinning. "What are you talking about? Our wedding is in 3 weeks." "That's exactly the problem." Keisha's voice was cold, distant. "Look at yourself, Marcus. Look at this place. You work in a garage, your hands are always dirty, and you brought me to a diner for dinner. This place has good food, and you know I'm saving money for our future." "What future?" She laughed bitterly. "My father was right. I'm about to graduate from law school. I have opportunities, real opportunities. And you fix cars." Marcus felt like he'd been punched. "Keisha, I love you. I thought you loved me too." "I did love you, Marcus. But love doesn't pay for the life I want." She picked up her purse. "I'm engaged to someone else. David Wellington. His family owns Wellington Construction. They have government contracts worth millions." "You're already engaged to someone else?" Marcus's voice cracked. "His family is expecting me for dinner tonight. I'm sorry, Marcus, but this is how it has to be." She walked out, leaving him standing there with the ring on the table. Mama Rose, the elderly diner owner, came over with a cup of coffee. "Son, I saw what happened. You want to talk about it?" "She threw away 15 years like it meant nothing," Marcus said, his voice barely a whisper. "Some people chase gold and forget about the treasure they already have," Mama Rose said gently. "But maybe this is God's way of protecting you from the wrong person." Marcus walked back to his small apartment in Oakland, the ring heavy in his pocket. Everything reminded him of Keisha. The pictures on his dresser, the extra toothbrush by the sink, the wedding invitations stacked on his kitchen table. His phone buzzed, a text from his cousin Jerome in Atlanta. "Heard what happened, bro. I've got a job for you here. Good money, fresh start. You interested?" Marcus stared at the message for a long time. He had nothing left in Oakland. No reason to stay. His job at Peterson's auto shop barely paid enough to cover rent, and now everywhere he went, he'd be reminded of his failure. He texted back, "I'm in. When do I start?" 3 days later, Marcus loaded his tools and few belongings into his beat-up Honda and drove south. The 12-hour drive gave him time to think, to hurt, to question everything he thought he knew about love and worth. Atlanta was bigger than he expected, busier, full of possibilities. Jerome had gotten him a job at Elite Motors, a high-end auto shop that specialized in luxury cars. The pay was double what he made in Oakland. "You'll be working on Bentleys, Maseratis, the works," Jerome explained as he showed Marcus around. "Rich folks bring their cars here because we're the best." Marcus threw himself into the work. He arrived early, stayed late, and learned everything he could about luxury vehicles. The work was challenging, and for the first time in weeks, he felt like he was good at something. 6 months passed. Marcus had settled into a routine: work, gym, home, repeat. He had moved into a small apartment near the shop and was slowly building a new life. The pain of losing Keisha was still there, but it had dulled to a manageable ache. It was a Thursday afternoon when everything changed. Marcus was under the hood of a silver Porsche when he heard tires screech outside, followed by a loud crash. He rushed out to see a black BMW had rear-ended a delivery truck. The driver of the BMW was a young black woman, maybe his age, clearly shaken. She was trying to get out of the car but seemed disoriented. "Miss, are you okay?" Marcus ran over to help her. "I think so," she said, her voice trembling. "My head hurts and I can't see clearly." Marcus noticed blood on her forehead. "We need to get you to a hospital. Don't move too much." No hospital," she said quickly. "I can't. My father will find out. He'll use this against me." "Miss, you might have a concussion. This isn't about your father right now." The woman looked at him with eyes that seemed both frightened and grateful. "I'm Zara Johnson." "Marcus. And right now, Zara, I'm taking you to get checked out." He helped her into his car, leaving her damaged BMW at the shop. At the hospital, Marcus stayed with her through the x-rays and tests. The doctor said she had a mild concussion and needed rest. "Thank you," Zara said as they sat in the waiting room. "You didn't have to do all this." "Yes, I did. It's the right thing to do." She studied his face. "You work at that auto shop, don't you? I saw your uniform." "Yeah, Elite Motors. I'm a mechanic." "And you're proud of that work?" Marcus was surprised by the question. "I am. I'm good at what I do." Zara smiled for the first time since the accident. "I can tell. You have honest hands." Over the next few weeks, Zara brought her BMW to Elite Motors for repairs. She always asked for Marcus specifically, and they began to talk while he worked on her car. "You know," she said one afternoon, "I've never met anyone who loves their work the way you do." "What do you mean?" "You talk about engines like they're alive, like they have personalities." Marcus laughed. "I guess they do in a way. Each car has its own problems, its own story." "What's your story, Marcus?" He paused, wrench in hand. "Why do you want to know?" "Because you saved my life and I don't even know where you're from." "I'm from Oakland. Came here about 6 months ago for a fresh start." "What happened in Oakland?" Marcus was quiet for a moment. "I was supposed to get married. She decided I wasn't good enough." "Her loss," Zara said simply. "Is it? She's probably living in some mansion right now, married to her rich guy." "Money doesn't make a person good, Marcus. Trust me, I know." There was something in her voice that made him look up. "What do you do for work, Zara?" "I'm between jobs right now, family stuff." Marcus didn't learn the truth about Zara until she brought her car in for the third time. This time, a black SUV followed her into the parking lot, and 2 men in suits got out. "Miss Johnson," one of them called, "your father is looking for you." Zara's face went pale. "Tell him I'm handling business. He wants you home for dinner. The Hendersons are coming over." After the men left, Zara slumped against her car. "I guess you're about to find out who I really am." "I'm listening." "My father is Robert Johnson. He owns Johnson Industries, construction, real estate, government contracts. He's worth about $50 million. Marcus felt his world shift. "You're rich." "I'm trapped," she corrected. "My father controls everything. My bank accounts, my car, my apartment. And he's trying to arrange a marriage between me and Thomas Henderson, whose family owns half the construction companies in Georgia." "So why are you telling me this?" "Because I trust you, and because I'm tired of pretending to be someone I'm not." Marcus set down his tools. "Zara, I can't do this again." "Do what?" "Fall for someone who's going to leave me for someone richer, someone better." "Marcus, look at me." She stepped closer. "I'm not her. I'm not whoever hurt you. I'm here because I want to be, not because I have to be." That night, Zara called Marcus from her apartment. "I need your help." "What's wrong?" "My father found out about the accident. He's furious. He's moving up the engagement announcement to next week." "Engagement?" "To Thomas Henderson. Marcus, I can't marry him. He's cruel, and he only wants me for my father's business connections." "What do you want me to do?" "Help me disappear, just for a few days. I need time to think, to figure out how to stand up to my father." Marcus was quiet for a long moment. "Where would you go?" "I don't know. I've never been on my own before. You can stay with me. I have a couch. Marcus, if my father finds out, let me worry about that. The next morning, Zara showed up at Marcus's apartment with a small suitcase. I left a note saying I needed space. I turned off my phone. How long do you think we have? Maybe a day or two before he sends people looking for me. Those 2 days were the most honest conversations Marcus had ever had with anyone. Zara cooked breakfast while he got ready for work. She told him about growing up in a mansion but never feeling at home, about business dinners where she was treated like a prize to be won. I have a master's degree in business, she said, but my father won't let me work in the company. He says my job is to marry well and represent the family. What would you do if you could do anything? I'd open my own business, maybe a consulting firm, help small businesses grow. So why don't you? Because I've never had to survive on my own. I don't know if I can. I think you're stronger than you know. On the third day, Marcus was at work when Jerome ran into the garage. Bro, there are some serious-looking dudes outside asking about you. Marcus looked through the window and saw the same 2 men in suits, plus a third man in an expensive coat. Robert Johnson. Tell them I'll be right out, Marcus said. He walked outside, wiping his hands on his overalls. Robert Johnson was a tall man with silver hair and cold eyes. You're Marcus Williams, Johnson said. It wasn't a question. Yes, sir. Where is my daughter? I don't know what you're talking about. Johnson stepped closer. Boy, do you know who I am? I know who you are, sir. The question is, do you know who your daughter is? Johnson's face hardened. Excuse me? Do you know that she's brilliant? That she has ideas that could make your company twice as successful? Do you know that she cries herself to sleep because she feels like a prisoner in her own life? You have no right. I have every right to speak up for someone I care about. At that moment, Zara's BMW pulled into the parking lot. She got out, her face determined. Daddy, stop. Zara, get in the car, now. No. She walked over to stand beside Marcus. I'm not going anywhere until you listen to me. Zara, this is ridiculous, Johnson said. You're embarrassing the family. I'm embarrassing the family? You're the one who showed up at my friend's workplace with bodyguards. This man is not your friend. He's a mechanic who's trying to take advantage of you. Take advantage of me? Zara laughed. Daddy, he's the first person who's ever treated me like I have a brain. He listens to my ideas. He believes I can do things on my own. You don't need to do things on your own. You have everything you need. I need respect. I need freedom. I need to be able to choose my own life. Johnson turned to Marcus. How much? Sir, how much money do you want to disappear? Marcus felt anger rising in his chest. I don't want your money. Everyone wants money. Name your price. I want your daughter to be happy. That's all I've ever wanted. Johnson stared at him. You're serious? Dead serious. Zara stepped forward. Daddy, I'm not marrying Thomas Henderson. I'm not marrying anyone you choose for me. If you can't accept that, then I'll leave and make my own way. With what money? You have no job, no experience. I have my education. I have my intelligence. And I have people who believe in me. She looked at Marcus. If you'll have me. Marcus felt his heart pounding. Always. 6 months later, Marcus stood in front of the mirror in his new apartment, adjusting his tie. Today was the grand opening of Johnson Williams Consulting, the business he and Zara had started together. After the confrontation at the auto shop, Robert Johnson had been furious. He cut off Zara's access to her trust fund and threatened to disown her. But Zara had surprised everyone, including herself. She got a job at a small marketing firm, lived in Marcus's apartment, and slowly proved she could survive on her own. The breakthrough came when she presented her father with a business plan for expanding Johnson Industries into new markets. Her ideas were so good that he couldn't ignore them. You did this yourself? He had asked. I had help from someone who believes in me, she replied, looking at Marcus. Now, 3 months later, Robert Johnson was not only speaking to his daughter again, but had agreed to be the first investor in her consulting business. "You ready for this?" Marcus asked as they stood outside their new office. "I'm terrified," Zara admitted, "but I'm ready." The opening was a success. Local business owners came to learn about their services, and by the end of the day, they had signed 3 new clients. As they locked up the office, Zara turned to Marcus. "I need to tell you something." "What?" "I love you. Not because you saved me, not because you believed in me, but because you see me. The real me." Marcus smiled. "I love you too. All of you." "Even the stubborn parts?" "Especially the stubborn parts." Keisha stood by the giant window, staring out at the empty garden. Rain tapped gently on the glass. Her phone buzzed again. Another article about Marcus and Zara's new office opening. She threw the phone on the bed. "David?" she called out. Her husband didn't answer. He was already asleep in the next room. Separate bedrooms, separate lives. She walked to her closet, full of designer gowns she hadn't worn in months. "I used to dream of this," she whispered to herself, touching the silk sleeve of a gold evening dress. But it all felt cold. No laughter, no music, no Marcus. A tear slipped down her cheek. She remembered the diner, the ring, the look on Marcus's face when she walked away. Her hand trembled as she opened her phone again and typed a message. "Hi, Marcus. I saw the article. I'm proud of you. Maybe we could catch up sometime?" She stared at the screen. Delivered, not read. Then slowly the message disappeared. Message deleted by recipient. Her hands dropped to her sides. The silence grew louder. She had everything money could buy, but she had nothing real. And this time, no one was coming to fix it. 1 year later, Marcus and Zara stood on the beach in Savannah, watching the sunset. The consulting business was thriving, and Marcus had opened his own luxury auto repair shop. They had built something together, something that belonged to both of them. "I got a text from Keisha today," Marcus said quietly. Zara looked at him. What did she want? She heard about the business. She wanted to reconnect. "What did you tell her?" "Nothing. I deleted the message." "Good choice." Marcus pulled out a small velvet box. "I have something for you." Zara's eyes widened. "Marcus, I know we said we'd take things slow, but I can't imagine my life without you. You make me better. You make me want to be the best version of myself." He got down on one knee. "Zara Johnson, will you marry me?" She knelt down beside him, tears in her eyes. "Yes, but only if you promise me something. Anything. Promise me we'll always be partners. In everything." "I promise." As they kissed, Marcus thought about how different his life was now. A year ago, he was broken, convinced that love was about what you could provide, not who you were. Now he knew better. Love was about seeing someone completely and choosing to stay. It was about building something together, brick by brick, dream by dream. "What are you thinking about?" Zara asked. "How sometimes the worst thing that happens to you turns out to be the best thing." "You mean Keisha leaving?" "I mean learning that I was worth more than I thought I was. That we both were." She smiled. "Come on, let's go home." "Home," Marcus repeated, liking the sound of it. They walked back to their car, hand in hand, ready for whatever came next. They had learned that love wasn't about being perfect for each other. It was about being real with each other. And that was more valuable than all the money in the world. My besties, do you believe in second chances? If yes, hit that subscribe button. If you've ever experienced a moment that felt like a miracle, big or small, write it below. Or simply type, God, I still believe in miracles. Let's fill the comments with hope. Take care until next time.